Donegal go into today's final with an unchanged lineup for the second match in a row. So it's the fourth time in 7 matches this year that Neil Gallagher and Rory Kavanagh have been partnered together in midfield. Colin McFadden is the team's leading scorer, while skipper Michael Murphy has had another good month's build-up after groin surgery sidelined him earlier in the year. The Connacht champions had their problems with injury and illness in the build-up to this final. Andy Moran is a notable absentee, but there were concerns about Lee Keegan and Colin Boyle. As it happens, both players are able to start, and the one spot in the forwards up for grabs has gone to Enda Varley, selected ahead of Alan Freeman. The noise is deafening. Great sense of expectation among the fans.
And just watching the Donegal goalkeeper,
I think he was under the impression that they were going to play the other way.
That's right, yes.
Incidentally, the Donegal team arrived in what they told was the right-hand dressing room, their normal dressing room, and they were told to change. Match underway. 123rd All-Ireland final. And straight away it's Donegal and it's Leo McClune. Bounce is awkward here. Kane came out to it. Left it there. Colin Boyle, about whom there was a doubt in the build-up to this. First free taken by Donegal. Kevin McLaughlin kicking it in. Controlled with difficulty, but handled on the ground there by Cillian O'Connor. The wind is quite a factor here this afternoon. It's swirling, it's nasty, and the players are going to have to come to terms with it fairly quickly. Look how far back Mark McHugh has got right from the very beginning. All the way in towards Michael Murphy, and an awkward bounce there took it away from him. First kick out of the match.
On him.
Murphy's playing in the conventional number 14 position, full forward, and Kane, as you say, has moved in from the corner. Moving in to take this one is once again Neil Gallagher. Had that tremendous match in the semi-final, dominated his patch. Lee Keegan, good to see him back. Touched away beautifully there by Paddy McGrath. Onto it quickly there came Mark McHugh. And McHugh has already gone back deep. Nobody particularly taking him up, but then he's not going to do any damage in his own half of the field. He's moving forward, however, now as are Donegal with Leo McClune here, challenged by 3 Mayo players. 4 challenges coming in smartly and sharply, had to. Donegal took it well. Good outlet pass there to Alan Dillon, who drifted away to the left-hand side. 3 players ahead of him. Breeze a factor, however, and the bounce awkward there, but well taken by Eamon McGee. Did really well to go back and forage for that one. Again, it's Mark McHugh. It's this time Rory Gallagher has taken over that role. Controlled here by Carol Lacey. 45 metres out from the target. Beautifully in there to Murphy. Great shot, great goal! 2 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock when he got that. What a start for Donegal here as they bid to win their second ever All-Ireland title. Brilliant ball in by Lacey. It's Murphy who has the height advantage over Kane, and maybe that's a marking task that's a bit too much for Kevin Kane. Murphy wins the first ball in, and it's a dream start for the favourites, the Ulster champions.
I just drew attention to it a moment or two ago, Gerard. I felt it was wrong to put Kane on him, and again, what Donegal have cleverly done, they've put Murphy directly in front of the goals, but note his handling that time. It was perfect control from Lacey's delivery in, and what about the finish? It was emphatic.
Well, that is an enormous body blow for Mayo. The thing is, they have an awful lot of time to actually repair the damage, but that's a poor kick in there by Barry Moore, and didn't look confident at all. But how about this? Once he got it under control, real danger, and there was nothing Kane could do about it. A ferocious shot. Happy fans.
Oh yes, it was a thunderous shot. My God almighty, David Clark, who's a wonderful shot stopper, barely saw it.
What a boost for Donegal. Playing with the wind, remember. Keith Higgins back in here as far as Colin Boyle. Forced out for most of that semi-final with a virus. Donegal have it back again, and that's McGlynn slung around there by Jason Doherty. No question about the free kick, and the referee is in very, very quickly just to warn Jason Doherty no more of that, or he could be seeing a card. Might even see a card before that. Very early to be incurring the wrath of match referee Maurice Deegan. It's a very early yellow card.
Very early card indeed. Again, I just wonder, was that warranted?
Here's McGlynn. I think the referee has decided he's going to lay down the law early on here. Worked by McBrearty. Cross here as far as Rory Kavanagh. Chasing after him Keith Higgins. There to O'Shea, but it's still Kavanagh. Very strong. Beautifully in here. Oh, another sling down challenge there on Mark McHugh. And if the referee gave one yellow card already, he'll probably give another one.
Yeah, just Mark McHugh coming through here. Lee Keegan catches him very high. That's a poor tackle by Lee Keegan. And, you know, Maurice Deegan has no alternative but to issue a yellow card to him.
So 2 yellow cards in the space of about a minute, all of them inside the opening 6 minutes, and Mayo already a goal behind. Free kick coming up, which will be taken by Colin McFadden once Mark McHugh is okay. Well, he's a vital influence, Mark McHugh, that much we know from this year's championship. Terrific young player. Colin McFadden now from 13 metres out. Breeze blowing over his shoulder. Donegal's top scorer this season with 328, now make it 329. Could hardly miss from there.
Yeah, I know there's only 6 minutes gone or so, but already there's a problem emerging on the far side of the field from a Mayo point of view. That's, again, just watch that tackle there a few moments ago. That's where Jason Doherty got booked for.
Kick out quickly taken here out as far as Lee Keegan. And now he's got to be working that tightrope of a yellow card for hopefully the rest of the match. Again, the bounce is unkind. Comes back here to Frank McGlynn once again. What a season he's had. Terrific footballer. Carol Lacey has set up the goal for Murphy. Nicely down once again as far as Paddy McBrearty's. The marking's very loose. Donegal after him. Can't get to him. Brearty kicks it, and McBrearty's shot has gone just to the left, and a missed opportunity to add to the 2 scores so far.
Yeah, the point I was making a moment or two ago, Ger, is down the far side, the Cusack stand side of the field. Donegal are running at the Mayo defence, and Mayo are finding it very hard to put in legitimate tackles and stop them.
Well, he has been concerned, James Horan, about Lee Keegan initially. Then there was a virus affecting Colin Boyle, and there's also been an old injury flaring up for Aidan O'Shea. But certainly Jim McGuinness must be very happy with the way the opening minutes of this match have panned out. Frank McGlynn getting on the ball time and again. Clearly telegraphed his intentions there to Carol Lacey, and the referee whistles against Colin Boyle. And Colin Boyle is saying it was a legitimate challenge. Lacey saw it otherwise. And really, when you look at it second time of asking, the referee had very few options. Very few options.
Colin Boyle was late with that tackle, and fair enough, free kick for Donegal. Can't argue with it.
Well, that's 3 fouls so far, 2 yellow cards given against Mayo players. They've got to be careful.
Got to be careful, and it's a sign of anxiety. They're quite edgy at the moment, not getting to the ball. Their touch is poor, actually, in their own forward line.
Lacey now can use the wind here, letting it drop in towards Colin McFadden, but it breaks away out as far as Keith Higgins again. Double bottom now. Gives the easy ball to Keegan, chance to carry it and then drive it forward. 1 against 3. Conroy getting this time, and Conroy's on a little push in the back there, and Michael Conroy wins a free kick for Mayo here in a possibly scoring position.
Yeah, Conroy was outstanding actually in the semi-final against Dublin. His movement across the line was...
Scored a goal when these teams last met in a league match back in March. But Enda Varley now could raise Mayo cheers. They can put this one over. It's not easy, as Martin was saying. 30 metres from the target. Can't quite pull it in. And eventually comes safely back to Mark McHugh, and then away out of danger via Frank McGlynn. Helped further away by Leo McClune. Neely Gallagher now. And Donegal just building out uncomplicated football, nice and simple. They know the pattern, they know the normal routine. Get themselves out of trouble quickly. Rory Kavanagh's ball there goes straight to Keith Higgins. Good work by the number 4 of Mayo, up as far as Alan Dillon now. kicking it into the three-man inside forward line, flicked away well there by Neil McGee.
Yeah, that's them. Their touch is poor. I know they're under a lot of pressure, but you need to have those balls sticking.
Well, maybe Kevin McLaughlin can raise a cheer or two. Back here as far as Aidan O'Shea. Once again, it's Lee Keegan prepared to join the attack, flicking it into the corner here. In as far as Killian O'Connor had that marvellous semi-final and looked to be pulled, but the referee says play on. Three men surrounded him. It's still O'Connor trying to battle for this. Only 20 years of age, and in the end, the referee gives the free against him.
I thought there should have been a free in there a moment or two ago.
After O'Connor came away from that, he made contact with Eamon McGee. Referee hasn't seen it, but the umpires have. Play continues at the other end. Donegal advance. Dangerous situation, and it's Paddy McBrearty. Comes back down again. Back to McFadden. It's another one, and it's Colin McFadden this time with a goal after 11 minutes. His 7th ever championship goal, 4th of the season, and what a year he's having. It was McBrearty who struck the post, came back down, not dealt with by the Mayo defence, who are looking incredibly nervous. A very, very brittle looking defence, and it's penalised emphatically by McFadden, and it's 2-1 to no score, and it's looking very, very bad for Mayo once again, even at this early stage of the final.
That's wonderful opportunities by McFadden, it must be said. But once again, Kevin Kane's handling, just as other players' handling, Mayo players' handling, has let them down at the field. At the moment, I think Maurice Deegan has gone down to talk to their umpires at the far side, because I think Killian O'Connor was involved in an altercation with Eamon McGee when the ball was cleared.
Yeah, as I saw it, Killian O'Connor and McGee got involved. Play was moving up the field. This is where Killian O'Connor felt he should have had a free, and then just watch. There you go, but there was another blow there.
Yeah.
And if the referee saw that, then Killian O'Connor could be in trouble, but it looks like the referee is going to hand out a yellow card to both players. The last thing that Mayo need at this stage is to lose a man. They've already lost Andy Moore in the course to injury since the quarter-final match against Down. I think the referee, Maurice Deegan, is just telling them to calm down now, nothing daft. But he can only do so much. It's up to the players. A yellow card per player.
Yeah, Killian O'Connor is lucky that it's not more than a yellow card. Eamon McGee deserves a yellow card for going back to the original incident before Killian O'Connor got involved there. I felt he should have been given a free in.
Yeah, that's the way he felt it as well, but it didn't happen. And what a body blow this is to Mayo. Such a poor start, and so reminiscent of what happened when they were here last in 2006. Let's hope it doesn't develop into that kind of a game. Carroll Lacey, huge one down towards Murphy again. He's catching brilliantly into McFadden as a third, maybe. This time it's stopped well by David Clark. And if that had gone in, well, you would really feel for the rest of this match. There's a Donegal player still down on the field, down on the deck, Colin McFadden, and is getting himself back up again. He's okay. Pride wounded, maybe. Lee Keegan kicking. Durkin comes, takes it, spills away from him, and the referee, I thought they heard a whistle for a moment there, but the referee says play on. Leo McClune. Back once again as far as Carroll Lacey. Paddy McGrath now. Trying to go by Colm Boyle. And McGrath setting it up once again. This time it's Anthony Thompson. Played back into space, but Boyle takes over once again, and now there's a chance for Mayo to counter-attack. Really stung by the concession of those two goals. Some 8 minutes apart. Two vital scores for Donegal to really settle down the nerves. Came in here as raging hot favourites in the minds of so many people. Well, it could so easily have been a third for Donegal, but for a very, very good stop a moment ago there by this man, David Clark, the 28-year-old from Ballina, Stephenites. Again, it is Donegal, if they can get to this ball, and even then, Mark McHugh went in with the challenge, won it, Comes back to Mayo once more. They need a score to settle themselves down in this match. Michael Conroy, very tight. Mayo looking incredibly nervous. This could so easily have been goal number 3 here, as this ball came down, was set up there for Colin McFadden, and it was stopped by the right leg of David Clark. While we've been watching that,
yes, when we were watching that, actually, Kevin McLaughlin just took his opportunity under a lot of pressure, sliced the ball beautifully between the posts, so at least it gets Mayo on the scoreboard.
In the 16th minute.
Yeah.
So 2-1 to a point for Mayo, and Kevin McLaughlin credited with that opening point.
The difficulty for Mayo at the moment is around the middle of the field. The two lads, Moran and Aidan O'Shea, are not able to get to the pace of the game.
But they've won it back here by a good piece of pressing on the part of Cillian O'Connor, and then the foul was committed and there's a free kick. And Eamon McGee, who's already been yellow carded in this match, walks away from that somewhat ruefully.
Yes, it's interesting watching Aidan O'Shea at the moment coming over to the sideline to James Horan. I just wonder what kind of shape he's in. I just have a feeling maybe he's come in with a slight injury into this match.
Well, it was that old injury, wasn't it, that
Yep.
kept him out for nearly 3 months earlier on in the season. Cillian O'Connor hit some wonderful points in the semi-final. Usually plays with great calmness. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. Puts his boot through that, hits it accurately and puts it over the bar. And now that's exactly what the game has required. 2 points in a row for Mayo. First by Kevin McLaughlin and now by Cillian O'Connor.
Yeah, from a Mayo point of view, that should settle them. It should give them, it's given them a toehold in the game. But, they're not, as you said, Gerard, they're lucky they're not 10 points to 2 down, because that was a wonderful save by Clark a couple of moments ago.
Certainly, Martin, every time that ball goes down into that Mayo goalmouth, I think Mayo fans probably have their hearts in their mouths, because the backs are having their difficulties. Here it comes again. Murphy once more, still against Kevin Kane, and he sets off yet again. This time trying to fist it over the bar, this time stopped by David Clark. And the wind is a factor as well, and of course Donegal are very wisely using it during the opening minutes of this first half. Vaughan struggling to get away, but succeeding eventually is McLaughlin. Back to Donald Vaughan. Partly blocked there by Rory Kavanagh, took the heat out of it, comes back to Neil Gallagher, swiftly forward here as far as Ryan Bradley, then on as far as Colin McFadden. McFadden, the 29-year-old from St Michael's, taking it by Keith Higgins, and the referee eventually saw the foul.
Very good tackling by Keith Higgins. He stood Colin McFadden up that time. Colin might have given the ball that little bit earlier, but I think he double hopped. Certainly he overcarried it, and credit to Higgins with his tackling. Just watch this here.
Yeah.
Well, he's still on it okay, but I think it's steps really. It's steps more than anything else that he's blown for.
This is taken in here by Neil McGee. Jersey pulled by Enda Varley. Still gets away. And there's a gap here which Ryan Bradley can exploit. He can make up a lot of ground here. Wants to try and take it around Aidan O'Shea. Clearly is struggling with his fitness. Back once again it comes. The bustling left half forward punches the air as he puts that one over the bar. Ryan Bradley's first point. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. He was man of the match in 2 of the Ulster Championship games, where he was taken off before half-time in the semi-final. So that will do his confidence a whole lot of good, and he makes it 2-2 to 2 points.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with that, because he's been taken off actually in every game so far in the championship, but last day it was because of a poor performance, but that was Summer Swan. Lovely score.
Kevin McLaughlin. This time it's Alan Dillon towards McLaughlin, firing it in here, not into the netting, the side net.
So far over the try, short of the wing.
James Horan there encouraging his players to settle down, get into the match a bit more, feel confident about the challenge. Bounces around there once again, this time as far as Ryan Bradley. Slipped into the half forwards here. Back to Colin McFadden it comes, kicking from 45 metres with unerring accuracy. How about that? What a score. A goal and 2 points now. The goal coming after 11 minutes. His first point was a free, and that one brilliantly put over from play. Hugely effective this season, Colin McFadden, and now 2-3 to 2 points.
That's wonderful efficiency, but if you go back to the source of it, there was a mix-up again under the broken ball by two of the Mayo players. Poor communication, lost the break, McFadden finished it off.
You only were surprised that Mayo haven't got an extra player in defence playing against the breeze, with the power and strength of this Donegal defence so evident in the opening minutes of this match.
Well, they've been trying to play Keith Higgins over in front of the full back line, but the quality of the Donegal delivery has been such that they're cutting it out, and Murphy's positioning in front of the goals. Now Cafferty has gone back at him, but Murphy's positioning has been very, very effective, and his finishing, the finish that we saw at the beginning was really emphatic.
Once again, it's Kevin McLaughlin. This time, Lee Keegan trying to get it back towards McLaughlin, can't hold on to it. It's Donegal, ruthlessly efficient, doing the simple things really well. Once again, Ryan Bradley trying to break out of defence, and even when the challenge doesn't quite produce a result from Mayo, in comes a support player, Rory Kavanagh this time. Thompson then with the ball thrown. The referee says that he didn't like the way in which it was dispatched.
Yeah, he was going in for overcarrying, which I think is a bit harsh. I think Rory Kavanagh will feel hard done by at that time. I felt myself, but you know what was noticeable just before that moment, how sharper and faster Donegal are into the breaking ball. They're so much crisper and faster.
I think that was thrown all right.
Yeah.
Scored 1 point from a free already. This from 45 metres by the time he gets to hit it. And will it curl in? Not quite. There was a tricky breeze down there today, and it's very, very awkward for the free takers.
Yeah, but nonetheless, in a game of this importance, and considering that you're, whatever it is, 7 points down, scores like that are needed to actually just eat into the lead and build up your confidence.
Well, James Horan will be aware that Donegal are a very, very good second-half team, and having been given a lead like this, having won over a lead like this in the opening 23 minutes or thereabouts, they're going to be very hard to pin back. That's broken down this time by Barry Moran. And this time the referee saw some holding, and it's a free kick which is very quickly taken as far as Kevin McLaughlin. Swiftly in here, just about taken by Paul Durkin with some difficulty. Back out as far as Paddy McGrath, and there's a lot of space now in front of the ball carrier, who's Rory Kavanagh. McGrath's kept going forward. Kavanagh once again. Inevitably it's Mark McHugh, the Sligo IT student. Lacey quickly down as far as Ryan Bradley, and now Paddy McBrearty. Back once again it comes to McHugh. 1 against 3 or 4. He was looking for McFadden, but it's the Mayo cover that winning it this time. Colin Boyle up as far as Michael Conroy. Chance to turn now. Mayo needing a score from him. Up into the sky it comes. Comes back down into the waiting arms here of Anthony Thompson, about to be challenged by Jason Doherty. Swiftly out towards Rory Kavanagh, and once again the would-be press of Mayo comes to nothing, because there's great composure and great strength and great togetherness normally about Donegal, except for that wayward pass. Back it comes to Donald Vaughan. Jason Doherty now. This time Cillian O'Connor taking over, hitting it to the right, kept in place somehow there by Enda Varley. Back down as far as McLaughlin, and a nice easy point taken there by Kevin McLaughlin. 2 points for him.
Yeah, that's a well-taken score. Fair play to Conroy, kept the ball in play, and McLaughlin just composed himself sufficiently to get around Anthony Thompson and put it over the bar. But it's, you know, the previous 3 attacks from a Mayo point of view came to nothing. You know, aimless kind of balls in, and they need to be much more cohesive inside if they are to penetrate that Donegal defence.
Well, McLaughlin's been the brightest of their attackers so far. Just about 9 minutes to go to half-time. Aidan O'Shea jumping, catching really well. Great piece of fielding. Referee gives him a free kick once the Donegal players back, and now the referee brings the ball forward 13 metres, and it'll be Alan Dillon who will take it. Alan Dillon has been one of the great leaders of Mayo football over the last 10 years. That was in for Conroy. And the best he could hope for was a throw ball, but the referee saw the ball handled on the ground anyway. And Mark McHugh was the last man up with it, so it's going to be a free kick.
Yes, great covering by Mark McHugh once again. There's a tribute to it, his athleticism and his ability to read the game. But,
that was very nearly gifted to Mayo, but for a bit of vigilance on the part of the Donegal backs, and they were lucky.
I put a hex in them, I'm afraid.
Carol Lacey, as far as Ryan Bradley. On here as far as Frank McGlynn. Has a support player outside of it. It's the other cornerback, Paddy McGrath. Turned back once again here towards Neil Gallagher. Oh, it's a terrible ball. Maybe Donegal are just being lured into complacency here, as Enda Varley has it. Mistakes by Donegal, and Mayo are the ones who are the beneficiaries.
Yeah, the quality of the kick pass that time from Lee Keegan was wonderful. Beautiful crossfield ball, well caught by Varley, takes on his man, draws the free, gives Mayo an opportunity to cut into the lead once more.
Well, this ball here was oh so dangerous, and Paul Durkin did really well to kick it away.
You remember in the league semi-final with Kieran Donaghy did something similar, and Alan Dillon intercepted it, which resulted, I think, in a Mayo goal.
It'll be Killian O'Connor who will take it. He's pointed one from a free already. 25 metres or so out from the target. Usually a player who kicks the ball exceptionally well. 18 pointed frees out of 24 already in this year's championship. And this is one Mayo need, and he is the provider. So it's 2 for O'Connor, the Ballinturber player. And now it's 2, 3 to 4 points, and the gap is back to 5.
Yeah, Mayo will be very happy with that, Ger, because they have come back from the gates of hell, so to speak, and around the middle of the field now they're starting to get a little bit of a grip. Aidan O'Shea's caught a good ball, Barry Moore has broken 1 or 2 on Neil Gallagher, and now maybe they're getting into the rhythm somewhat.
But those 2 goals from Michael Murphy and Colin McFadden, 3 minutes and 11 minutes on the clock. They are the most telling scores so far. As it's kicked out into the middle here, and it's won back by Mayo, and then the loose ball swiftly picked up here by Donegal once more, and it's Mark McHugh back there doing the spade work. His dad, of course, Martin, played 20 years ago against Dublin in the 1992 final, scored 3 points in that match. James kicking it long, or rather Mark kicking it long, intended for Michael Murphy. Instead it is Ger Cafferty who's now gone into a marking job. Line ball's going to be to Mayo. Linesman over there is David Coldrick. Donald Vaughan kicking it all the way back to his goalkeeper to adjust his footing there, David Clark. Aidan O'Shea. Mayo have taken a long time to settle in this match. They're still in the hunt. Kevin McLaughlin. Keegan treading it forward towards Conroy. Swiftly across comes Neil McGee. Well, it's some 10 minutes now since Donegal's last score. Meanwhile, Aidan O'Shea on the attack from Mayo. Varley steps away from trouble, and then good little interception there by Leo McClune, but the referee says it was an illegal one. Free kick quickly taken. Lots of spare players back there for Donegal. One of them, Frank McGlynn, just making sure that the danger is snuffed out immediately. Neil Gallagher resolutely carrying it forward here, helped by Eamon McGee. Carol Lacey's wave up there, up joining the attack. This is something that Donegal do, of course, bring their half-backs forward on occasions, looking for breaks. Mayo trying to cover the gaps. Dillon inside here, taking a return ball. Kicks it well. Comes back down off the post to Michael Conroy, and he loses it. And inevitably, Mark McHugh once again back, but the referee saw a push this time, and he's given a free kick against Donegal, much to the annoyance of the Donegal followers.
Yeah, I think it's of the soft variety, it must be said. The ball came off the post that time. It was a 50-50 tussle, I think, between the 2 of them. No point in arguing with Maurice Deegan. He has given the decision. Dillon takes a shot from outside. Just watch it, it hits the post, comes down, It looked to me a 50-50 contest, but the referee has given Mayo the opportunity to narrow the lead.
Thought there might have been a free much earlier on at the time when we had yellow cards issued to Killian O'Connor and to Eamon McGee, but they get the free kick belatedly anyway, much later, and it's going to be Killian O'Connor who will take it, and this can now make it a 4-point game after a dreadful start. Into the wind on a swirling day at Croke Park. Killian O'Connor kicking across left to right, straight between the posts in the end. 3 points for him, all from frees, to go with Kevin McLaughlin's 2 points from.
For the moment have Donegal. A lot of the deliveries inside are being intercepted now by the Mayo defence, who've started maybe to read the situation a bit better.
Well, Mayo will have the breeze for the second 35 minutes, but then the Win never won an All-Ireland final and never will. This is Colin Boyle, pursued by Leo McClune. Referee saw the foul, quickly taken. Good work here by Michael Conroy. He's working across that line from right to left, and he's keeping Neil McGee on his toes, and he's getting in timely shots like that, and he's put it over the bar. And it's a very good point by Michael Conroy, who came off the bench in 2004 in that final against Kerry. He was wearing number 30 that day. He was only 19. He came on and he got a goal and a point. He's got a point here, and the gap's down to 3, and there are 2 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, credit Barry more than that time, the way he broke the ball away from McGee, and Boyle picked up the break, gave it to Conroy, and Conroy's confidence was manifest. Fine score.
Mark McHugh now, with Rory Kavanagh kicking it forward. In there as far as McBrearty. It's lost, turned over, and it's Mayo who are working hard now, really working incredibly hard, getting themselves back into this match, showing the necessary industry. That's nicely up there towards Killian O'Connor. He has to battle for it, try to keep it in play. Thompson gets onto it for Donegal, surrounded and held, and it's going to be a free for the Ulster champions. It's taken by Eamon McGee, close to half-time. Here comes Ryan Bradley. Remember, it's a Donegal side that had a very nice handy lead at one stage. They had 2 goals and a point in front after 11 minutes at 7 points up. Carol Lacey. In as far as Murphy. Intended there for Gallagher. Donegal player on the ground, referee busily keeping an eye on the stricken players, and it's got to be a free kick.
Yeah, Colin O'Boyle this time I think is the one that's going. There's certainly a late tackle that time by Donald Vaughan. That's what it was called for. Okay, the high tackle maybe from Colin Boyle, but originally I think the free was for this one here. The late tackle by Donald.
Make it 4 Mayo players yellow carded in the first half against 1 from Donegal. We're in stoppage time. Chance now for Donegal to add to their lead. It's been whittled down to 3 where once it was 7. So 2 minutes of added time being played, and the free taker will be Colin McFadden once again, the 29-year-old teacher, teaches at St. Eunan's College. And I'm told that today is the feast of St. Eunan, who is Donegal's patron saint. Smiling down, I'm sure, on the Donegal charges. McFadden last scored in the 20th minute, so 15 minutes on from that. Can he get another score here? And a late point for Donegal before the break. Referee having a word or two with players out of picture. Shouting there with Anthony Thompson. Meanwhile, all eyes on Colin McFadden. Can this go over? Can this extend Donegal's lead? The answer, yes. A very emphatic yes. And he's got a goal and 3 in this first half. Wonderful performance by the number 15. And so 4 between them once again.
Yes, and it's their first score actually, I think, in 16 minutes, which gives a good indication of the way that Mayo have come into the game. Mayo's spirit kicked in, character showed in their play as the half went on, because that was an appalling start that they had.
Last few seconds then of this first half of the All-Ireland Football Final 2012. Donald Vaughan setting off once again. This time it's carried on by Jason Doherty. They need a big input from him. Higgins up there, an opportunity maybe. Donald Vaughan recycled once again. Back it comes here towards end of Varley, kicking under pressure and pucking over the bar. End of Varley gets his first point of the All-Ireland final. And once again, it's back to a 3-point game. And Mayo, who made the most awful start to this All-Ireland final, are right back in the mix once again. We've played the 2 minutes of added time, and the referee, I imagine, will get the whistle to his lips very, very shortly now, once this is kicked out by Paul Durkin. And it's half-time in the All-Ireland Football Final 2012. Cillian O'Connor got 3 points for Mayo, all of them from frees. But Donegal made the most wonderful of starts. A goal after 3 minutes by Michael Murphy, then another goal by Colin McFadden after 11. And you may remember Colin McFadden had a very good chance of getting a third, but for the intervention of goalkeeper David Clark. But to their credit, Mayo, playing against the wind, have battled back strongly. They've forced their way back into this game, even though they haven't been dominating the exchanges around midfield. And at half-time in the All-Ireland final, it's Donegal who lead. Donegal 2 goals and 4 points, Mayo 7 points. Analysis coming up right after this.
Football final, Donegal leading Mayo 2 goals and 4 points to 7 points. And here with me in studio, Joe Brolly, Pat Span and Colin Moore. 3 points in it, Colin. It could have been a lot worse for Mayo.
It could have been, and I must say I found that first half very entertaining. I think we all said when Donegal went 7 points up after getting 2 goals, oh no, it's not going to happen again. But I think Mayo's efforts in recovery have been heroic. They've shown fantastic character, and they've got great points there from Enda Varley and Michael Conroy, and really the likes of Alan Dillon and Kevin McLaughlin and Donald Vaughan have been inspirational when it looked as if Donegal were just going to overrun them. It was like a big steamroller there at times, and maybe the only thing that Donegal haven't planned for ever is to be 6 or 7 points up in the first 10 minutes of the final, because I'd say the plan for everything else. But Donegal have lost their grip. Why Michael Murphy has come out and why they have stopped kicking the ball into him. Mayo made a bad mistake leaving Kevin Keane and Murphy and paid a very heavy price for it, but it's a good game and it's still in the balance.
I speculated before the match to you, Pat Spillane, of what might happen if Mayo got off to a bad start, and they surely got off to a bad start. A goal in the first couple of minutes.
And you might remember my answer. I said this Mayo team are a different animal.
Yeah.
You know, this goal came from, it didn't come from the blackboard, it didn't come from the training ground, it came from good, simple, old-fashioned, direct football where you play the ball in long to your, arguably your best forward, Michael Murphy. And as Colin alluded to, I mean, it was a mismatch. I can't understand why Ger Cafferty wasn't initially given the role of policing Michael Murphy. But in the first couple of minutes, Donegal were playing this direct ball. Murphy was winning it, McFadden was winning it. And then for a strange reason, they sort of abandoned this long direct ball, and Michael Murphy has either been brought out or himself has dropped out. So it's been an enjoyable, it's been an entertaining game. One of the things that intrigues me about Donegal is that they have a tendency to sit back on leads and be a bit casual. After 7 minutes in the Kerry match, they were 1-2 to no score up, and they didn't score again for 15 or 16 minutes. And today again, 2 goals and 1 point, 7 points up after 11 minutes, and they sat back and went 16 minutes without scoring. It's an enjoyable game, though, Michael.
I'll tell you an interesting thing about it. For the first time all year, Donegal are jittery. You could sense that. When they had that lead, the unexpected lead, the 2 goals and a point, and I mean, at that stage you thought, I mean, somebody behind me said, Mayo have collapsed during the parade this time. But there's no collapse on at all. And in fact, the reason that Mayo have come back into the game, apart from the fact that they have played well and they've scored 3 brilliant points, that were very, very difficult scores, and they've kept their concentration on, but they've been helped by 6 unforced errors where Donegal turned the ball over, casual hand pass, panic-stricken foot pass, things that are uncharacteristic, and that says to me that Donegal are feeling jittery here because they are in an unusual position.
It's because they got off to that good start. We saw Michael Murphy's goal. They had another one in the net a few minutes later.
Yeah, well, Donegal are used to grinding out wins rather than playing champagne football in the first few minutes. But again, unfortunate, a mistake from Kevin Keane when the ball comes across here. Shot for a point, comes back off the post. Keane should have cleared that ball, dropped it out of his hand, and McFadden was very clinical, put the ball low. David Clark is a very good goalie. He couldn't get near either of those goals, but 2 bad mistakes by Kevin Keane, and then after that Mayo switched Cafferty on to Murphy, and things have changed around, things have stabilised. But I think that Joe has said, Donegal are jittery. They have never found themselves in this position. It's new territory.
Because they're being taken on. They're being taken on physically, and they're being run at, and they're in their face.
You're right about that, but I mean, like the referee absolutely scotched the tactical fouling from Mayo with the first 2 yellow cards. First 2 fouls, 2 yellow cards. So now you're on an even playing field.
We have another break to take here on the programme. More reaction to that first half straight after that.
Leadership with a fantastic point from 40 yards. And all these kicks are all difficult. They're from long range, they're from difficult angles, and there's guys coming down on the kicker. This is Mickey Conroy. Now watch when he kicks it. Like, there's 2 guys going down in his boot. It's a brilliant kick. I mean, and Mayo are having more success when they come down the wings, like they did against Dublin, and shoot from outside that D. They're very effective and great points.
An issue that's emerging now in the game is that Mayo are blocking up the central column to their own defence, which is making it very difficult for Donegal to play their preferred running game. Donegal tried to kick with very limited success against Cork. I know that they've got the goal today from Murphy, but that's really the only return they've had from the long ball.
This is the best of the points from the outside of the left foot.
But what's happening here is that Mayo are blocking up that central column with the 2 spare halfbacks. Donegal are having great difficulty running the ball through the middle, and it's forcing Donegal to do things that they don't normally do. So tactically that's working well.
OK, now earlier in the programme we heard from former Mayo player Anthony Finnerty and from Donegal's winning captain of 1992, that was Anthony Malloy. There with Marty Morrissey again right now.
Thank you very much, Michael. Yes, plenty to talk about down the sideline as well. Anthony Finnerty, it must have been heart attack stuff when you saw 2 goals going in after just 11 minutes of play.
Yeah, it was a bit of the deja vu again, Marty. We had a nightmare start. We're something like 7 points down after 11 minutes. But fair play to the boys. They have rallied really well and made a great comeback, and we're well in the game now. We would be happy enough at half-time.
Anthony Malloy, Michael Murphy scoring a goal after just 3 minutes. But then, as the lads were saying in the analysis there at half-time, Michael seems to be out around midfield.
Yeah, well, you know, we got off to a dream start, really, and, you know, all over the pitch. Like, our back settled terrible well, like we were good in there, and we were playing the ball in quickly. The long ball into Michael Murphy was working. All of a sudden, I think maybe we went 7 points up. We went back to typical Donegal football again, a bit of messing, and we slackened off and made mistakes. Now, why they stopped this, I don't know. Why they didn't leave Michael Murphy in where he was, like, and you know, we done some stupid things as well, like, you know, and lost possession and all that there, and Mayo punished that.
Would you now change the plan at half-time if you were Jim McGuinness, put Michael Murphy at the edge of the square and boom it in long?
Well, it's very hard, you know, like Jim, you know, we're looking up the pitch there. I think we're playing into a breeze here. It's very hard, and there's a swirling wind out here, like, and I think they'll probably go back, I think, to what we know best anyway, it's a short game, and you know, we tried 1 or 2 long balls, like, and they were poor balls and they were cut out as well, like, but I think they'll revert back. I think we're a bit nervous, you know, we're not as good as our ball and handling has been, you know, against Cork, or as crisp, and I don't think we're running into cul-de-sacs as well, you know, so we need a bit more wood as well going forward.
Mayo have been heroic, as the lads on the panel have said at half-time. You must have been inspired by the way they're taking their points, and they have showed a lot of character, haven't they?
They have shown great character all year. Even in the semi-final against Dublin, the last 5 minutes of the game, they pushed on and won it. Now we're in a position that we're back in the game again. But Donegal have always been very, very strong in the third quarter. And if we can stick in for the first 15 minutes, I think we're going to have a very interesting finish to this game.
Anthony Malloy, Anthony Finnerty, thank you both for joining us. The word here, by the way, Michael, is we could be heading for another draw. Back to you.
Marty, would you stop, please? Thanks for that. A crowd of 82,269 here at Croke Park today. They want to see this game finished, I can assure you, this afternoon. Colm O'Rourke, the door is open again for Mayo. 3 points in it. Can they now turn this around?
Well, certainly the last 15 minutes of that half, their tackling was ferocious, their work rate went up. You know, they looked very nervous, and they've turned it around and made Donegal look nervous. Sometimes in an All-Ireland final or in a big game, it's actually easier to play when you're behind, because you throw a certain amount of caution to the wind. Donegal sort of retreated back into their shell a little bit, and they started to make a lot of mistakes that they haven't done. Even though Mark McHugh and Carl Lacey's got on the ball quite a lot, Mayo now have started to get to grips with the kick-outs around the middle of the field. They've started to throw their bodies in and win breaks, and it's going to be very interesting. They've expended a huge amount of energy to get this far.
But mind you fellas have been pointing out that the third quarter of the match, which is the next 15 minutes basically coming up, are Donegal's. This is the way they play it all year. This is where they do your damage to you. So therefore they should push on.
And I said, I mean, they've outscored the opposition in the 6 games so far by 21 points in this third quarter. But as the boys alluded to there in the interview, there's no doubt about it that Donegal are nervous and they're under pressure, and they've made more unforced error in that first 35 minutes than they have in the 6 previous championship games. So if Mayo can get in their faces and be as aggressive as they were in the last 15 minutes, well then Mayo are in with a damn good chance.
Donegal are not a brilliant team. They've got to play at 100 miles an hour, and that's what they've done all year. For the last 15 minutes of that first half, they haven't played at 100 miles an hour, and that's what Jim McGuinness will be trying to get them back up to now.
There's an All-Ireland title at stake. You would be nervous, wouldn't you? Time to hand back to Ger Canning and Martin Carney.
Thanks, Mike.